Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Jeb, and I have a little bit of a story. It's a pretty short story. It's pretty easy for me to explain, so it shouldn't be too long of a video. Some people are happy, some people are sad about that, but I hope you're happy in general. So this is a story about me basically going deaf. And this is actually a very terrifying thing now that it actually happened to me and I experienced it and everything like that. It's actually a very, very scary thing. So let me explain to you how I basically went deaf. So a couple nights ago, I would say Thursday night, I was just playing Xbox. And on Xbox, obviously you're wearing this little headset here and there and you got some loud noises in your ears and stuff like that. But I never cranked my headset like super fucking loud or anything like that. So I didn't like damage my eardrum or anything like that. So I'm just sitting there playing Xbox and I noticed that the inside of my ear itched. So I just kind of took my headset over like this and I decided to feel my ear. And I decided to scratch the inside of my ear just for a second. I didn't dig inside of it and like fucking ew. I scratched the inside of my ear and I moved my finger out of the way after I got the itch, and all of a sudden, boom! Complete fucking silence on the left hemisphere of my body. I couldn't hear anything, not even underwater, nothing like that. No, like completely, I couldn't hear shit on my left side. So I said something on Twitter about it and people were like, oh, you probably like scratched the inside of your ear and then you moved a big thing of wax and blah, 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 blah. And the thing is, I clean my ears regularly. I don't have a lot of wax in my ears, or so at least I thought I didn't. This is such an attractive story. So I was pretty much freaking out. I was like, holy fucking shit, I'm deaf all of a sudden and all this other stuff. And I told my grandparents about it and they were like, oh, well, just sleep it off and see what happens in the morning. Went to sleep completely deaf on the left side. I mean, I went to sleep pretty quick because I couldn't hear shit. And I woke up still deaf on my left side. So I decided to call the doctor and they immediately took me in. They were like, yeah, we got to check it out. So I went to the doctor and the lady was pretty nice. She's fairly young. She's maybe like 30 some years old, early 30s, I would say. Not the prettiest in the world, I would say, but she was really nice. Went there, explained the story to her, and she was like, oh, wow, that's really strange. You sure you didn't like dig really far in your ear and like move something around or whatever? I was like, no, I didn't like go far. I literally like scratched the rim of the inside of my ear. That's literally all I did. And she goes, okay, well, I'm just gonna have a look then. And she decides to take her like little flashlight thing, and she's completely quiet, okay? And she decides to take her little flashlight thing and look on the inside of my ear. And she's like, and I look at her and I'm like, and she still hasn't said a word. I didn't want to interrupt her because she's in the middle of a process, you know, and she's just doing her job. I didn't want to ask too many questions. I was just like, okay, just let her go and just let her figure out what's going on. And she decides to take a bunch of Q-tips, okay, and stretch my ear in this really weird way. And she started scraping the inside of my ear. And she puts the first Q-tip in, okay, really fucking far, need I remind you. That was like the deepest I've ever been penetrated in my life. That sounded really bad. That was the deepest I ever felt something in my body. That didn't sound good either. Fuck it. Yeah, she went really far into me. God damn. And she pulls the first Q-tip out and she's like, oh, well, you do have some earwax in here. I was like, okay. Well, I'm sitting here thinking in my head, all right, I had to have moved like a really big thing of wax somehow, some way, even though I didn't even go inside of my ear. And she keeps going Q-tip after Q-tip. And I would say on the fourth Q-tip, she goes, oh, wow. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? And it sounded really bad when she said it. She was like, oh, wow. I thought I had like a bunch of fucking spiders laying eggs in my head and shit. And my ear canal just infested. And she takes this Q-tip. She takes the final Q-tip and scrapes on the inside of my ear and pulls it out and shows it to me. There's blood on the end of this fucking Q-tip. And I looked at her like, do I have internal bleeding in my fucking head? What's happening? And I was sitting there, I was like, what's wrong? And she looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, oh, it's nothing. It's just a small cut in your ear. It's swelled up and it's covering your eardrum. Thanks for fucking notifying me after you freaked me the fuck out. You should have kept me updated as you went in there. You don't say, oh, in a really concerning voice and then show somebody blood on the end of something you just stuck into their fucking ear. That's some scary shit. That's like you being a woman taking a pregnancy test and then your boyfriend reads it off to you and he goes, oh, but he doesn't show you it. That's fucked up. You keep me updated on that shit. So I got some ear drops that were prescribed to me that are just supposed to bring down the swelling around the cut and everything like that, and eventually I'll be able to hear again. The first 2 days, it didn't do jack shit. And then one morning, I just woke up and I rubbed my ear because it just felt weird. And all of a sudden, I just pulled my finger away and there was just this mound of junk that was in my ear. My ear drained all over the place when I woke up. Ooh, I know it's disgusting. I know it's disgusting. I'm sorry. Like, this glob of stuff looked like it could have been a villain in a horror movie. It looked like the aliens from Men in Black. That shit was evil. But needless to say, after my ear drained and everything like that and the swelling went down, I can hear again. I can hear right now, which is, I'm really happy about that because I always had a toss up between whether I would want to be deaf or blind. What would I rather? And to be honest with you, just being deaf in one ear really sucked. I can't imagine being deaf in both ears. I really can't. Now, normally, I don't know. Both sides really just suck, but I always said that I would actually rather be deaf than blind because I just like seeing things. I can see really nice things. I can see my family. I can see my friends. I can see nice butts. But after that, then I realized that I can't sound whore on Call of Duty. I can't listen to music. I can't listen to any of my loved ones' voices again. I think it's even worse to have your sight or your hearing taken away from you in the middle of your life than to actually just be born with it. Because at least when you're born with it, you're used to that. You don't know what everybody used to look like or what everything around you used to look like or what everything used to sound like, what music is. So it's still a toss-up to me. I don't know. You guys tell me down in the comment section. Would you rather be blind or would you rather be deaf? I would rather be blind, I think. I don't know. My opinion could change. I don't know. It's a really difficult decision. People with handicaps in general are some of the strongest people I've ever met in my entire life. So kudos to everybody out there with a handicap because I couldn't stand having my one ear taken away from me over the course of just a couple days. So yeah, guys, I can hear again. Everything's fine. Everything's good and everything like that. A couple people were actually concerned about my hearing and stuff, which is really cool. I really appreciate that, but I'm all good now. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys have a good day. It's been Jev. Later.